Táthairstin agus fáilteiribh chun an darnastrí to Speak Gaelic. Welcome to the second series of Speak Gaelic. I'm h-ath. It's great to be back. I'm h-ath. And I'm so glad that you could join me for this next step on our journey to fluency. Now, the theme of today's programme is cairsteas, friendship, cairsteas, which is very appropriate as I'm delighted to be back in the company of my Speak Gaelic friends. Coinnichidh, how are you? Now, if you were to ask me, I'd probably say Chanil Gurira, Chanil Gurira. That's our first phrase of this new series. And you can use it to reply if someone asks you how you are. It means something like, I can't complain. A very stoic Scottish sentiment. Chanil Gurira. And I'll let you hear it a few times over the next half hour. If you want to revisit any of the learning from Series 1 in order to refresh your memory, you can do that on our website, where you'll also find details of language classes you can join. And you can listen to our podcasts, which you can download from BBC Sounds. Now, let's see what's ahead of us in this first episode. Useful phrases for catching up with friends.
h-ath.
Calum Maclean takes centre stage. Asking if you know the same people. And we'll meet inspirational Gaelic learner Mihoko Pooley, who'll tell us about her own particular learning journey. Well, I think we've been waiting long enough. Are you ready? Let's speak Gaelic. We'll start by looking at some phrases you can use when you're with friends. A question you'll often hear Gaelic speakers asking is, what's doing? And it's often used as a greeting. Whenever you hear it's likely to be followed by not much. Or the phrase I shared earlier, I can't complain. Another way to ask how things are going is how are things? And here are a few ways to respond. Things are fine. Or things are great. Now, as the conversation continues, if you want to ask a friend about something they've done, it's what did you do? Rain is the past tense of the verb gian, meaning do or make. Rain. So you could ask, what did you do yesterday? To ask what someone plans to do, we say, what will you do? For example, what will you do tomorrow? Let's listen to this conversation and see how many of these phrases you recognise.
Hello.
Oh, hello Elsie. Coinnichidh and you? Well, ha mi tranga gobed, ha marston as a skull.
Hanna pettichen.
Hanna pettichen gedóial, ring marston tor law in chacking show.
Neach-ionnsachaidh an jellichachgoin.
Is savishking a rogan farke, maar denk je sorganje?
A chaviske begos gan ammer snaaf.
Savish kujach.
Daldak marston.
Ha marston trangs and skull a hula law. Agus a cleich lees a meer agus ben a hula feskid.
Coinnichidh an san skull.
Ha cushion ma an san skull. Ha carriageneke agus ha tolliche.
Ha sin ma.
Ring sheafse in chacking show.
Chat the rain moran. Chai me and farke.
Seoigh, neach-ionnsachaidh an gàidhlig.
Well, ni mi skiplochig an cigarrig. Sabischúvi an cigarrig just sarne.
Sábhis gása fónach go bhruidhinn de saoghal. Ní mi hínas marstan sin.
Zijn mi keken na betraaien. Zo gan a trí de varstan.
Ha sé fá caiinál, tafaléh.
Did you recognise some of the phrases we heard there? Elsie asked Maddie, "Jé had dulf ag Marstein." What's Marstein up to? Jé had dulf ag Marstein. To which Maddie replied, "Ha Marstein trang san skull." Marstein's busy in school. Ha Marstein trang san skull. Elsie then asked, "Kimmer a ha cúsin an san skull?" How are things in school? Kimmer a ha cúsin an san skull? Maddie told her, "Ha cúsin ma." Things are good. Ha cúsin ma. Later on, we heard Maddie ask Elsie, "Jé rain síomhse in teachcin seo?" What did you do this week? Jé rain síomhse in teachcin seo? And her response, "Chad a rain móran." I didn't do much. Chad a rain móran. When Maddie asked Elsie what she would be doing at the weekend, she replied, "Ní mi skiplochig an sa garug." I'll do tidying in the garden. Ní mi skiplochig an sa garug. We also heard the phrase savished, usually. Savished from Elsie when asked about her weekend. Savish go a bhí an sa garug. I'm usually in the garden. Savish go a bhí an sa garug. And from Maddie, Savish gása fónach go bhruidhinn. I usually phone my mother. Savish gása fónach go bhruidhinn. And you'll find lots more examples of how and where to use savished on our website. Now let's listen again to some of that conversation.
Jé dol de Marstein.
Ha marstan trang san skull a chola lá, agus a cléich leis sa mír agus ben a chola fescad.
Kimmer a ha cúsin an san skull.
Ha cúsin ma an san skull. Ha carriage agus ha talla-ciùil.
Hasint ma.
Jé ring síomhse in teachcin seo.
Chat a rein móran. Chai me and farke.
Seoigh, jé neach-ionnsachaidh an gàidhlig.
Well, ni mi skiplochig an cigarrig. Sabischúvi an cigarrig just sarne.
Sábhis gása fónach go bhruidhinn de saoghal.
And remember, there are more supporting materials in our podcasts, which you can download from BBC Sounds. Now, I have to say that this is possibly one of my favourite parts of the programme, where I get to meet other inspirational Gaelic learners who are as passionate about the language as we are. I've been joined by Mihoko Pooley, and before we start talking to her, let's find out a little bit about her.
Ismishe Mihoko Pooley. I'm Mihoko Pooley. I live in Midlothian, ach sauna chiba auna Iapan a hamio hus. I'm making a traditional Japanese sweet called shiratama. I came to the UK 20 years ago to do some volunteer work in Oxford, and that's where I met my husband. We moved to Scotland when our son was born, and we have been here for 9 years. I didn't really know much about Gaelic when I came to Scotland. When my son started school, I started learning the language as well, and I enjoy being part of such a warm community. I used to learn origami clubs in English at the school. Now that my Gaelic is improving, h-ath na bhruidhinn neach-ionnsachaidh Gaelic. Ori means folding in Japanese, and kami means paper. It's a big part of our culture, and I find it really therapeutic. I try to go home to Japan once a year, but I also speak to my mom online.
こんにちは。
元気でしたか？元気、大丈夫よ。I teach Japanese at a university, so I know the effort it takes to learn a language. はい、さよなら。
Fáil teoirt, Mihoko, to speak Gaelic.
Oh, taplet.
Cymryd a haw.
Yeah, hami guma taplet. Cymryd a haw fein.
Have a gabhail more and thing. Now, had you heard of Scottish Gaelic before you moved to Scotland?
No, I hadn't. I didn't know anything about Gaelic.
At all?
At all. I'm very sorry.
So how have you been learning Gaelic then?
I use learngaelic.scot, and also I use Duolingo, and also I joined the conversation classes, so conversation circles, and formal classes and reading clubs.
Wow, you've been very busy.
Yeah.
And you're a language teacher yourself. How does that help your own learning? What methods do you use?
Well, practice every day is the most important thing, I think. And also enjoy the language, and also don't be afraid of making mistakes.
Yes, that's so important.
That is.
So are there sounds in Gaelic that you don't have in Japanese?
Well, R sound. We use L sound for the R sound, and also we don't have the the throat sound, the sound with throat, and also bra. That's a very difficult one.
That's a really hard one. And how have you dealt with these sounds?
Well, I use learngaelic.scot for learngaelic.scot sound files to mimic the sound, and also I ask Gaelic advanced learners and fluent speakers to check my pronunciations.
And that's the best way to do it, is try and then tweak it as you go along. So do you try and speak Gaelic to your son at home?
Just simple phrases. We also practice, Duolingo together to increase the vocabulary.
Yeah. What's lovely is you say that you enjoy being part of the Gaelic community. What is it that makes it so warm and welcoming?
The first time when I visited Bunsugol Tubman Parker in Edinburgh, the head teacher, Miss Nick, she made us feel so welcomed in the Gaelic communities. And the school has such a diversity. Yeah. People from, families from all over the world, and also from different background. And I never feel I'm a minority there.
Yes, that's so important.
Yeah, and I always feel I'm a part of the Gaelic community there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so thrilled to hear that. The more diverse, the better,
yes.
we always think. Now, can you tell us, what's your favourite Gaelic word or phrase?
Oh, na gabhail.
Na gabhail is such a good one for a Gaelic learner.
It is, to make your friend not to worry.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a lovely phrase.
That is an excellent one. Well, thank you so much for coming to speak to us.
Pleasure.
And go h-ath. Good luck with the rest of your learning.
Happily.
Go with Mihoko. Agus inis ha carriage eile arash Gàidhlig or Speak Gaelic. Let's reacquaint ourselves with another familiar and friendly face on Speak Gaelic. Ha carriage eile arash Gàidhlig. Who else but our roving reporter and all-round Scotland and outdoors enthusiast, Calum Maclean. Calum Maclean. Throughout the series, Calum will be continuing his alternative take on some of Scotland's hidden gems, and today he's in search of some entertainment.
Hello, today I'm in Glasgow, in search of the world's oldest surviving talla-ciùil music hall, talla-ciùil, the Britannia Panopticon Music Hall. But tell me, how do you get to the Britannia Panopticon Music Hall? Practice! The old ones are the best. Follow me. Dúiligh, sorry, follow me. Built in Lean Victoria, the Victorian era, Lean Victoria, this music hall played a key role in the lives of the city's workers, and they came for entertainment. But as times changed, it fell into disrepair and was forgotten. Thankfully, it was rediscovered in 1997 and brought back to life. I'm going to meet up with Grant F. Kidd, one of the trustees, who helps look after this wonderful old talla-ciùil. When did this place open, and what does panopticon even mean?
So the Britannia Music Hall opened in 1857 and changed its name to Panopticon in the early 1900s when A. Pickard bought it. Panopticon comes from the Greek pan, meaning everything, and opticon to see, and it was because Pickard had put in a basement zoo, a rooftop carnival and American waxworks, as well as the music hall. So for one ticket price, you could literally see everything. What could you see here? What acts were there? You would have singers, comedians, dancers, gymnasts, acrobats, basically everything's your sort of standard variety music hall entertainers. Dan Laurel made his professional debut here in 1906. Cary Grant, while still using the name Archie Leach, appeared here as a gymnast.
And tell me, what was the audience like in here?
So it was a standard Glasgow audience, so no turn left unstoned. And they were known to be rowdy and to throw shipbuilding rivets, fish guts or horse manure at the acts.
In its heyday, the theatre held around 1,700 people, but it's now limited to 200. This talla-ciùil has certainly helped a classic or two in its time. My turn now. What a performance, even though I do say so myself. The Loch Avarc loved me. This talla-ciùil has launched the career of many a cléisiche, and maybe I'm next. That act was my tribute to Stan. Next stop, Hollywood. Which way is it, Stan? It's this way. No, it was this way.
Calum. Thank you, Calum. Súil dé chanúch Stan Cód. I wonder what Stan would say. Súil dé chanúch Stan Cód. It's nice to have you back with us. I suspect Hollywood may be a step or two away, but you just never know. Coinnichidh a face. Who knows? Coinnichidh a face. And thanks to Calum's best efforts, we now know that talla-ciùil is a music hall, a cléisiche is an entertainer, and Loch Avarc is the audience. Loch Avarc. We'll be joining Calum on his travels again very soon, but in the meantime, make sure you follow his exploits on our website and on all of our social media platforms. I can guarantee it's well worth it. Nisha, a bhísih déisial son tuilleach Gaelic a bhruidhinn. Are you ready to speak some more Gaelic? We'll continue with some more words and phrases you can use when talking to friends. If you're trying to work out whether you know the same people, as all Gaelic speakers invariably do wherever they are in the world, you can do that by asking "Inanyagucht." Do you know? Inanyagucht. And if you're talking to more than one person, Inanyaguich. Inanyagucht and Inanyaguich. For example, to ask someone if they know Calum, you would say, Inanyagucht Calum. Do you know Calum? Inanyagucht Calum. And to answer, Sanya. Sanya go Calum. Yes, I know Calum. Sanya go Calum. Or, Chananya. Chananya go Calum. No, I don't know Calum. Chananya go Calum. Now, another word that's often used when talking about someone or something that we're familiar with is Iolach. Familiar with or acquainted with. Iolach. To ask if you know someone, we say Ivilu Iolachid. Are you acquainted with? Do you know? Ivilu Iolachid. And to continue with our Calum example, àrd-urlar Calum. Do you know Calum? Àrd-urlar Calum. When responding, remember that to answer an àrd question, we use ha or cheumannan. Ha! Àrd-urlar Calum. Yes, I know Calum. Àrd-urlar Calum. Or if you don't know Calum, cheumannan. Cheumannan Calum. No, I don't know Calum. Cheumannan Calum. Let's listen to some friends talking about people they know and see how many of these phrases you recognise.
Tucht de garage. Och gurin. Eike hunje. Anse waar. Sinu ik jarish. Jerry.
How talla-ciùil Michael? Gàidhlig.
En je moran. A party cola brian eike hunje.
Party?
In anje gut mag het shores.
Chananje?
Ze dochter aan.
Chananje go seoras an dochter.
Hij go per ans een hospital. Na ga heen go per ans een hospital.
Ha mi go per an hospital. Han hospital mór. Chananje go hula dochter ha go per an.
In anje gut Isabel. Na ga je gut Isabel niet gaan lei.
Ah, sanje go Isabel. Sé nurse hientje. Agus ha cuaiche.
Hij maar een kutjach.
Ha fissa go mir sin.
Isabel niet gaan lei. Sin een bramer ik mag het shores.
Ah, ceart.
Nis. De willen jolig het puur Isabel.
Claire? Ha mi jólacha Claire. Vin hé jólacha.
Ha?
Ha je dien of gerre muchis. Agus ha je aan se glas chapati gacum.
Na ga we klasse bij de nog.
Savist. Kimmer wa fissa go dir sin.
In Jenny Faver gosse. Wel aarde phone ik het er zo'n clear.
En Judy Faber gose.
Niet mi Faver u.
Vir a jólacha dunnige ground. Ha je go per an in het spars.
Did you recognise some of the phrases we heard there? Michael asked Emma, and then you gocht, mag het shores. Do you know my friend Shores? And then you gocht, mag het shores. To which Emma replied, Chamanje. I don't. Chamanje. Michael continued, Sé dochte the haun. He's a doctor. Sé dochte the haun. And Emma said, Chamanje go Shores and dochteth. I don't know Shores the doctor. Chamanje go Shores and dochteth. We also heard Michael asking, àrd-urlar puher Isabel. Do you know Isabel's sister? Àrd-urlar puher Isabel. And in this case, Emma did know her. Ha mi jólacha Claire. Yes, I know Claire. Ha mi jólacha Claire. Michael then went on to ask Emma, Nach avish class of Iapan to noch? Do you not usually have a class tonight? Nach avish class of Iapan to noch? And Emma replied, Savisht. Usually, meaning yes. Savisht. Let's listen to some of that conversation again, and remember, you can find all of the conversations in this series, along with bilingual transcriptions, on our website.
In anje gut mag het shores.
Chananje?
Ze dochter aan.
Chananje go seoras an dochter.
Hij go per ans een hospital. Na ga heen go per ans een hospital.
Ha mi go per an hospital. Han hospital mór. Chananje go hula dochter ha go per an.
De willen jolig het puur Isabel.
Claire? Ha mi jólacha Claire. Vin hé jólacha.
Ha?
Ha je dien of gerre muchis. Agus ha je aan se glas chapati gacum.
Na ga we klasse bij de nog.
Savist. Kimmer wa fissa go dir sin.
Prepositions like ag or aith personalise in Gaelic by forming new words. At me is acum. On me is autumn. The preposition do does the same. So to me is not do me, but go. To you is rucht. To him is ga. And to her is ye. Go, rucht, ga, ye. We hear go in the expression sine go. I know someone. Sine go iad. I know them. And in the expression savist go. It's usual for me. Savist go. Well, hashin t-saoghal. We've learned a lot. Hashin t-saoghal. Let's have a quick look at what we've covered. To ask a friend what's happening or what's doing, h-ath. h-ath. And to reply, you could say Coinnichidh. Coinnichidh. Another way of asking how they're doing is Coinnichidh. And to respond, h-ath. h-ath. To ask what someone has done, it's h-rainniu. And to ask what they plan to do, h-niu. If you want to ask if someone knows someone else, it's inanyagucht. Or gabhail. Well, Karsten, I can't believe we've reached the end of the first episode of our new series. It was so good to be back. Before I go, a reminder that more detailed supporting materials are available online, where you can also find information about language classes you can join. You can watch all of the programmes in this series on BBC iPlayer, and you can follow us on all of the usual social media platforms, and we'd love it if you got in touch. Until the next time, cheery and drasta.